good morning. How are you? It's time once again for the House Whisperers Show on WWDB Talk 860. I'm Barry Reisman, inviting you to stay tuned for expert advice about maintaining your house from the roof to the basement and everything in between with a guy who tells us that every house has a story. Professional home inspector Jack Milne. I know what Jack's topic is today, and to be honest with you, I'm a little bit nervous for what he may tell me about what's going on in my house and what I have to do or what I don't have to do. So, Jack, how are you?
I'm great, Barry, and listen, I try not to make anybody nervous.
Well, I have to hear what you have to say as far as my house and everybody else's house, too. It's an important topic.
Well, thank you, Barry. I hope each week, as I reach out to as many folks as I can, that everybody walks away learning something. And I think it's such a cool career path to have, being a home inspector. But you know, here it is. It's actually a day after July 4th. This summer's just flying.
Oh, where's it going?
Yeah, so it's kind of time to say happy birthday to our country again. And you know, years ago on the bicentennial, which was 1976, I was lifeguarding on the beach in Ocean City. You know, watching all the people, young and old, enjoying the celebration. And now here it's 2015, and I just did the math, and it's actually 39 years later.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. And here I am on the air. So, I just all of a sudden feel a whole lot older, but it is what it is.
You can get right back on that beach and get right up on that lifeguard stand and do it all over again if you wanted to.
You know what? I probably could, Barry, but I'd probably swim like a rock right now. I think my muscle structures have changed a little bit, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. But, you know, July 4th really is a time of celebration, bringing family together, you know, the celebrating of the fireworks, you know, across the city, the country, and across America. And I was going to talk about wet basements this week, but I changed course today to talk about security, you know, how to be safe in our homes. And it seems like, you know, the world around us is a bit crazier than it was 39 years ago. So before I start, please, I'd like to thank our sponsors, because without them, I wouldn't be, you know, able to chat with you today. So Bucksmont Inspections, I've been seeing a lot of Rob and Don. They are absolutely the best people when it comes to on-site sewage evaluations, testing, and design. Rob has been a sewage control officer for almost 30 years, and these guys are the go-to it. If you have any questions regarding your on-site sewage, reach out to them at 215-669-4213, and their website is bucksmontinspections.com. Bar exterminating, I've been seeing Rob Bruno a lot lately. I mean, the market's been on fire, so it's really great to catch up to these gentlemen. And he's out of Glenolden, Pennsylvania. They do specialize in both termite and radon testing. And their website is burrowexterminating.com, but always by phone, 610-586-5640. The Pest Blaster, I was with Mike, a few days ago, and he was doing a mold test for me in Beverly, New Jersey. But they also do radon testing with destroying insect inspections and pest removal. And that pest removal part is extra tricky, because I don't know if I want to be doing that. But what's nice is about them is that their company also makes the repairs for pest removal and pest control. So anyway, their website is pestblaster.com, and their phone number is 215-295-5555. BrainFlushGear.com. Coming up, we've got our actual, what we like to call Brain Flush 2. We're heading up to Maine. There's 16 of us on motorcycles, and this is our chance to go ahead and put our fists and face in the wind and just enjoy some beautiful scenery. So again, I went to BrainFlushGear.com. They designed all the gear that we're going to wear for this trip. And so it's eclectic as always, and that's why I love them. So you can reach out to them at contact@brainflushgear.com, or, of course, the website, brainflushgear.com. And finally, Tri-County Inspection Company. Today is the 5th. A week from now, Barry, we will be celebrating our 30th birthdays.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, so thank you. Do me a favor, remind me next week, okay?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to forget. but we service 15 counties from the Lehigh Valley down to the ends of Delaware Valley, and from northern part of Hunterdon County all the way down to Salem County. So we are out there. And right now, Barry, we're averaging between probably 40 and 50 properties a week. And the best thing I can say about it is that we are doing all generations, from the first-time buyer to the last-time buyer. So it's a very exciting time to buy real estate. So follow us on our website at tcinspect.com. Bucks, Montgomery County area is 215-295-2030. South Jersey, 856-853-4224. And if you're listening to me today way up there in the Lehigh Valley, 610-346-7880. So I always like to say, please let the sponsors know that you heard their ad on today's show. I'm going to ask that you also please visit the archives at housewhispershow.com. I've been turning a lot of people onto that website, even my clients, on a daily basis, where they want to know more about generators, Barry, and switching from oil to propane. There's a lot of great topics there. And, of course, I love the emails, and you can send them to me at thehousewhispershow@gmail.com. Podcast 24/7. They are out there for you in case you missed the week's segments. So go to www.dbam.com. So for today's segment, it actually came from Julie from Haddonfield, New Jersey, who asked me, Jack, I'm in a good neighborhood. My kids are young. My husband's in the military. The house we bought has an older security system. I'm not sure if I should update it or stay with the one I have. So this is why, Julie, today's show is dedicated to our nation's birthday, as well as to your husband, who represents our country, and I'm extremely happy to help. So, Julie, safety is a comfort level that you have to feel within you. If there's any doubt or uncertainty that you feel within your heart, and with your husband in the military being away for an extended period of time, you should look into a security system. And security systems as a whole, we're really started to come into being in about the 1960s. And I think what really turned people onto these systems is, if you think back, this was during the Cold War. And we were almost afraid to, think what, might be outside of our comfort zone. I mean, I remember those days that we had to kind of hide under our school desks, when the siren rang. So
yeah, the air raid drills.
Yeah. And I think for security companies, the best way that they try to advertise is to present fear. And this fear can come from the unknown. It can come from the neighborhood. It can come from the local news, where no news is good news. And, of course, now we have news available 24/7. And, of course, the Internet, shares both good and bad news. But, what I would do is I would suggest that you contact the installer of your current system. If they are no longer in business or no longer available, I would consult with a security specialist, but not one who sells security systems. Old systems were hardwired to the windows and doors. Sometimes you would have these plugs or sensors at the base of the windowsills, and sometimes you would have sensors maybe 4 to 6 inches where you could raise the window slightly but still be connected to your security system. And, this would allow for airflow, but, the system would have to be on, of course, in order to function. But I was never comfortable with those sensors being up 6 inches, because what if the kids came along and wanted to raise the window a little higher? Your security system would then go off. I mean, if you're going to leave your home, of course, close and lock the windows. But anyway, these old systems, include a lot of wires and sensors, and they were typically tied to your landline phones. Now, Julie, I'm not sure how old you are, but I can tell you that this current generation of home buyers do not use a landline. They tend to cut off Ma Bell and live by their cell phones. So if that might be one of the downsides of having an older system. But and again, this is where the installer can help you with that. But today's systems tend to be wireless, and then again, we don't have all these wires that we have to drill through our windowsills and down through our stud base to get to the basement to run to a transformer. Today, things are wireless. So even in my own home, I've got sensors that sit up in the corners, the high corners of my walls, and they beam towards certain areas: the front door, the rear sliding glass door. I have one in what we call my pool room, which is my former living room, because I have a large piece of glass there, and I also have them in my basement. But what's nice about the new systems is that they ring my cell phone if it goes off. So I could be notified that way. And then, of course, you can also have it go to what I call a central command. And that's what I have with my business. So if the system goes off, they call me first, then they call my neighbor second. And, they have this series of contacts that they will work through. And unfortunately, you will get some false alarms, and I think that's just part of the business. But one of the things that there will always be with today's security systems is a battery. And the batteries are not only in the sensors, but they're also going to be, at what are called their panel box. So, and this is in case of power loss. You always want to have something as a backup to the backup.
Hey, Jack, can we take a little break? My battery is running low. I got to change my battery here for the radio station.
Let's do it, Barry. And when we come back, we're going to talk about monitoring companies.
Okay, we're here with Jack Milne, the House Whisperer, and Jack will be back right after this.
Boro Exterminating has been specializing in wood-destroying insect inspection and control for over 40 years, serving Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. All inspectors are state certified and ensure providing their clients with professional inspections and treatments. Boro not only performs conventional termite treatments, but also handles special services like historic buildings and homes with wells, creeks, or ponds. The client is assured that all treatments will be performed safely when you hire Boro to do the work. They also provide radon testing in their service area. Boro's full-time office staff is available to help you schedule an appointment. Just call 610-586-5640 or send an email request to boroinspects@verizon.net. That's 610-586-5640 or email at boroinspects@verizon.net.
Specially created T-shirts by BrainFlushGear.com offer the extreme sports enthusiast an opportunity to have a clothing line available that suits their sport. BrainFlushGear.com understands that when we get the moment where we can jump on our motorcycles, wave runners, surfboards, snowmobiles, or skateboards, it can be priceless. They offer custom artwork including silk screening, transfers, and embroidery. Speak to one of their consultants today, and they'll help you create your own Brain Flush. Visit BrainFlushGear.com or email them at contact@BrainFlushGear.com.
For your septic inspection and testing needs, please consider Bucksmont Inspections. They've been serving the Bucks and Montgomery County areas for over 15 years. As members of the Pennsylvania Septic Management Association, the Pennsylvania Association of Sewage Enforcement Officers, and the Pennsylvania Association for Professional Soil Scientists, Bucksmont Inspections can inspect your existing septic system or test for your new septic system placement. Please call Rob Bowie at 215-669-4213 and say you heard their ad on the House Whisperer Show.
Tri-County Inspection Company has been providing professional home inspections, commercial inspections, and historic property evaluations for over 30 years. For all of your real estate transactions, call Tri-County Inspections at 215-295-2700. 855-205-2030. For their New Jersey clientele, call 856-853-4224. Tri-County Inspection Company covers 13 counties, serving both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. They have performed inspections for over 70,000 clients and are members of the American Society of Home Inspectors, as well as the Pennsylvania Home Inspectors Coalition. They are licensed in both Philadelphia and New Jersey. Call 215-295-2030 or 856-853-4224.
As the temperatures gradually rise, so do the odds of all those filthy and unwanted critters invading your home, like rodents, roaches, termites, and flies. Oh my! This summer, if you want to feel safe and secure from a possible creeping, crawling disaster, do yourself a favor and call the exterminating experts at Pest Blaster for all your pest control needs, including tests for radon and mold. Please visit pestblaster.com and you'll be sold. 215-295-5555.
Our house is a very, very, very fine house.
Okay, we are back. The House Whisperer Show at WWDB with Jack Milne. We're talking about security systems. Jack, let's pick it up where you left off.
Well, thank you, Barry. And I'm responding to an email from Julie from Haddonfield. And, you know, her initial inquiry was about having an older security system and how reliable it may be, or should she reactivate it, should she update it. So I'm really dedicating this show to all of us who have security systems. And before we went to the break, monitoring companies are either public or private. So, again, for my building, it goes to a private company. Again, they ring me, they alert me that the system went off. Do I have to run by? Do they need to send the police? And a lot of times the notification from the time that the alarm goes off to that phone call is as little as a minute. But you can also gear your security system sometimes to the local police department and fire department. So these are all questions that you do want to ask of your monitoring company. And, of course, they're willing to charge you for that, too. So from what I understand, you know, my system runs me about $250 a year. So I guess if you do the math, it's about $20 a month that they charge me to monitor the system. And, of course, any of the ancillary things that they need to do, like replace batteries or whatever, are typically extra. So that's something that everyone should look into is what their monthly stipends are. The other thing is that some of these companies don't charge anything to put a system in, but, of course, your monthly payment is through the roof. And I can't name any names over the air, but be very leery of any system that is installed for free because most security systems today can run anywhere from $1,300 to maybe $2,000 at most. And imagine being billed $100 to $125 a month for your in-quote free system. So y'all can do the math. It doesn't take long before you get ripped off. And at the same time, if you go to move, that system has to go and be taken out of the home. So there's no real benefit to anything that's installed for free. So, guys, before I forget, please email me any questions that you may have. And I'm bringing it up a little bit earlier because, again, I love responding to emails like Julie's here and helping out. So, again, that's the housewhisperershow@gmail.com. Now, moving forward, you do want to have a set of backups. So, in other words, if you can't be reached via your smartphone or your cell phone to activate or deactivate the system, you need some backup. So, again, I utilize my neighbor. I utilize one of my secretaries for my business. And, again, they usually like 3 points of contact before the company sends the boys and girls in blue. So, folks, do me a favor, and if your current system is connected with a transformer that is on a GFCI-rated receptacle, in other words, the circuited receptacles that you see in your kitchens and bathrooms, please do yourself a favor and contact the company and have it removed. because if the GFCI fails, now you're on your battery, which can also lead to false alarms. And believe me, I make this a material defect in every home inspection that I perform. And I have to tell you, I bet almost a third of the installs are installed on a circuit that's designed to fail. I've been in a few homes over the past several weeks where the system went off, and of course I pick up the phone. I explain who I am. I'm the home inspector. I'm representing my clients. No, the seller is not home. If you feel comfortable with sending the police, please do. And I usually can get them to shut the system down. But the same comment comes through every time. We have been warning this owner that his battery pack is low. Well, the reason it's low, folks, is because the GFCI tripped a long time ago, and it's wearing the system down. So anyway, check that. Go down to your panel box. If you see a little T and R on a receptacle, it is a GFCI-rated receptacle. Make the phone call today to keep your family safe. Now, I'm going to touch on some other simple things that relate to security. So let's talk double locking deadbolts. Folks, if you have a key or you need a key within your home to unlock your door, then these are double locking deadbolts. The fire marshals are all over home inspectors right now to tell our clients, our buyers, that when you change your locks, get rid of the double locking deadbolts. Some municipalities are now requiring that if you keep it, you must glue the key into the lock set. But, folks, these are deemed a fire hazard. And if you think about it, if you have a fire in your home, you're not really running out. You may be crawling because the smoke is at the ceiling. And if you can't find the key, your family's life may be in peril. So if you own an older home with entry doors with single-pane glass, well, please update them to maybe a steel door with insulated glass because, one, it's warmer, and two, it's safer. And then you can install a thumb latch to add a second layer of security. And believe me, it's not easy to break an insulated glass window or door due to the vacuum that's provided when the door was constructed. Plus, again, it lowers your energy costs. And these doors can run from a simple, what we call a two-light door, roughly at about $350 to an ornate door of $1,000. But please do me a favor and get rid of those double locking deadbolts. Now, here's another one I see every once in a while. If you have a lock or on a gate at your entry door, again, storm doors with these secondary locks, and you lock this door every night, or you have bars on your windows on the first floor, I would urge that you buy a security system. Fire marshals advise home inspectors to have all new home buyers remove these fire traps. Some are locked from the outside of the home, and there's no way to get out. Again, buy a security system if you have to. And then again, I'm getting back, don't buy a system that's free, okay? Now, how about windows? That's a good one. Now, there's small tabs on a lot of our new vinyl replacement windows. These tabs are designed to keep small children in, those that are 2, 3, and 4 years old. But they're not designed to keep the bad guys from breaking in. If the home inspector's not careful, and even adults, these child safety latches break with a simple lifting of the window. Years ago, I did an inspection for a young single woman who told me that she had a secure home. And as I did not see a security system as we went through her house, I asked her what she meant by secure, and she showed me her windows. And, of course, I advised her accordingly. Screws and nails in the top sash was a popular deterrent in the 1980s. And you would need to have a screwdriver or a hammer or what I call the roller skate key to get out of your home if there was a fire. Now, of course, sellers are cute. Well, Jack, if there was a fire, I'm going to throw a desk through the window. But, sometimes I think we have to learn to, we have to protect ourselves from ourselves. So, Julie, in closing, if you have any questions, and folks, everywhere, reach out to your current security company and like electrical and phone company and see what is covered and what is not. There may be some hidden fees. Again, monetary costs then go up in time. What if you want to replace the battery, or you want to improve the system? What costs are involved? And as I always tell all my clients, questions are free to ask any time, and typically the review of your system should be free too. So you do want to take full advantage of these because it is your family's health and safety, may be a true concern for everyone's home. But in closing, Uncle Sam has been promoting over July 4th to replace those batteries in your smoke alarms and your carbon monoxide detectors. So yesterday I did mine. And if you have not done yours yet, please do so. And actually within a few weeks I'm going to do a whole section on safety within your home. And if you're looking at your smoke alarms and they are mustard in color and older than 10 years old, folks, just don't replace the batteries. Replace the detector, okay? Life expectancy of a smoke detector is 10 years old. If it's chirping incessantly and you've changed the batteries over and over and over again, guys, it's time to let them go. They've done their job. And then when you press them and they continue to chirp, your batteries are low. So they're 9-volt batteries. Buy them in bulk. Do what you need to do. If you do not have smoke alarms, you should have one on each level. If you do not have carbon monoxide detectors, please purchase them individually. Put one in your heater room, especially if you burn oil, gas, or propane, and put one per level, preferably at the top of the stairwell or by a cold air return.
Yeah.
Next week, we are going to talk on, is my basement wet? And as it is Sunday, please spend time with friends and family. We'll see you next week on the House Whisperers.
Great show, great advice. Thank you, Jack Milne. And tune in again next week for another edition of the House Whisperers show with professional home inspector Jack Milne. And you can listen to previous programs, or if you have any questions, visit thehousewhisperershow.com. It's Barry Reisman here, along with Jack Milne. Thanks for listening to WWDB.